What's going on, guys? PXCam20 back here with a brand new video. We are here at ASUS. I can never get this track name right, but we are here for our daily race B with the Group 3 cars, as we are at one of the most interesting tracks on the race calendar. In my opinion, this track is just very fun, but at the same time very challenging, and you don't really know what type of racing you're gonna get here whenever you are jumping into one of these races, just because you can either get a really good side-by-side race with some of these guys, or it's just strings out and you are just nose to tail throughout the entire race and nothing really happens. So you're kind of just playing roulette with the racetrack when you do come into some of these races. So hopefully we can get some good stuff going on here and finish somewhere in the podium, if not get a win here. So before we jump into the race, if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the videos. It really helps out the channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that is enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into this race. As we jump into our first race now, we get our 3, 2, 1, and away we go. Starting in 6th place, we are crossing the start-finish line as we head into turn number 1. Trying to use as much of the track as we can. We accidentally make contact with the dirt, but don't go as far to the left like the Belgian does right ahead of us. So he decides he wants to go off-roading, loses 1 position because of that. It's going to lose 2 position and might be on the verge of losing 3 position, as we are taking a little peek on the right-hand side, as we're going to now be on the inside heading into turn number 3. Side by side as we head to turn number 3, he almost makes contact and takes out the Frenchman, but in doing so he's had to slow down, and we easily get the overtake on the inside, and we are now promoted into 5th place, as now we have to catch up to 4th and 3rd and see if we can get around them here. As we take a little peek behind us, this is not a pretty sight that we want to see. Just basically the entire European nation is right behind us on our tail. Can we get away from them and do the most optimistic and best defending that we can on this racetrack? As again, I am not the fastest around here, so I know that this Belgian is really quick, so we're gonna do everything we can to hold our position, and hopefully we can defend our way throughout the race. So on this banky right hand corner, it's a really fast corner, we decide to go to the middle part, take a really late apex, and we're able to cover our spot here, as we're now gonna head into the hairpin, spotting our braking point, as it's going to be right before the corner into the hairpin. We brake as late as we can, but we actually get punted out from behind, and this is from the Belgian. He says, "Hello, I'm here, I'm pushing out of the way, and I'm taking your spot now," as he takes an overtake on the outside after bumping us out of the way. He goes a little bit wider on the exit, but it doesn't hurt him too much as we jump into the replay. Just not sure if we brake too early, if he braked later than us, but either way, it was the same result, as he was just able to push us out of the way, bully us, get that 5th place position, and now we have to try to get around him here as we come into the final couple of corners. So on the final couple of corners, we take our normal racing line. I did not expect the Dutchman to be right underneath us, as I was paying attention to not making contact with the Belgian, and the Dutchman decides to make the move out of Narnia and tries to come from a long ways back and make an optimistic inside overtake. But not sure if that was because he just missed his braking point or if he was actually attempting an overtake there. But either way, we lost a lot of time to the Belgian right ahead of us, so we have to remake all the time lost, as we're about 1.5 seconds, almost 2 seconds away from these guys up ahead. So the only thing we can hope right here, since 4th and 3rd almost made contact going to the right-hander, is that these 3 cars start fighting with each other. The more that they start fighting, the more they're going to slow themselves down, and that the car right behind us does not try to make overtakes on us, and we're able to pull away from him. So if we have clean air, we should be able to catch up to these guys. So at the end of lap number 2, we actually get a little bit lucky, since the Belgian and the Frenchman are actually fighting with each other. You can see that they flip-flopped their positions here, and 3rd place is now starting to run away with this. So it might come down to just a 2-car battle right ahead of us, and again, I'm all for it. It gives us entertainment, but not only that, it allows us to catch up to them. So we just have to keep continuing to run our lines, make sure we don't make any mistakes. We do have a pretty alright gap away from 7th place, so we don't have to really keep an eye on the radar. So we just focus on hitting our lines, hitting our marks, and possibly we can get this 4th place, as once again the Belgian and the Frenchman swap positions here, as the Frenchman is able to get around him. He is now up into 4th place, and they've been fighting basically this entire race side by side. So going into the hairpin, I thought the Belgian was going to push the Frenchman out of the way, but the Frenchman actually gets really loose on the exit, as he gets a lot of wheel spin and the curbing. Disrupts the car just ever so slightly, but he's able to hold this position on the Belgian. And again, this is just great news for us because we're just here sitting, eating our popcorn, making sure that we hit our marks. And you can see that we were able to catch up to them now as we have closed the gap to the Belgian. Going on the final corner, we accidentally make contact with the inside barrier, and that slows us down. And so all that work that we did catching up to these guys, we just lost it in a single mistake right there. So we actually make another mistake, get very loose on the entrance and the exit now, as we lose about half a second away from the 5th place driver. So things are not looking good for us here as we're kind of cracking under pressure. But luckily for us, once again, that they're fighting with each other. They're going beating and banging side by side into the middle part of the racetrack. Going into the left-hander, the Frenchman is able to hold off the inside as the Belgian tries to make a cutback, but in doing so, he's actually going to have the outside of the fast sweeping corner. They're going side by side once again as the Belgian brakes kind of early. He's got to see if he can get another cutback on the exit of this corner, but he's unable to do so. So an unsuccessful move right there. And look at this. We're catching up to the Belgian right here as we are now. Are we going to do the payback on him since we are right behind him? And we brake as late as we can, but the Belgian actually brakes really, really late, makes contact with the Frenchman, pushes him out of the way, and he is able to regain 4th place away from him. But not only that, he gets a 3-second penalty for that maneuver. So justice is finally being served to the Belgian after pushing us and the Frenchman out of the way. He gets his 3-second penalty, and all we have to do is just ride right behind him and get this 4th place position as we defend our position going into this final couple corners away from the Frenchman. Coming out of the final corner, we're going to hold off the Frenchman, and it looks like we're going to be in the delta for the 4th place. And here we go. We are able to get 4th place as the Belgian gets demoted all the way from 4th down into 8th place after getting that penalty. But that was a deserved penalty after pushing us and the Frenchman out of the way. So we got very, very lucky with that. So let's see what we can do here on the second race. Jumping to our second race now, we get R321, and surprise, surprise, once again, we are starting in 6th place as we are right behind the Brit. Switching left and right to try to get some heat in the tires. We fortunately did not make any mistakes going into the first corner like we did on the last race. Go a little bit wide on the exit, but nothing too bad. We didn't go too wide when we were on the grass, so we're able to hold up right behind the Brit, stay in the slipstream, and just get a really great run going into turn number 2 and 3. Heading to turn number 3, we're going to brake as late as we can as we go underneath the banner. Heading to the right corner, we almost make contact with the Brit, almost take him out here as we get an optimistic move from the Spaniard on the left-hand side. He decides to capitalize on everything that happened there, but in doing so, he accidentally made contact with our left rear quarter panel, and that gives him a 1-second penalty, so an unjustified penalty for that. Spaniard did not deserve it as we make contact with him as things get bunched up going into turn number 5. Things are not looking good here as we're just waiting to get our penalty, but fortunately we did not get a penalty here, and so we got very lucky there as the penalty system usually gives us, and might have given the Spaniard as well, a penalty, but they gave the Spaniard already a penalty for making contact with our rear quarter panel, and we were able to get away from here scot-free with no SR drops and no penalties. So heading into the hairpin for the first time on this race, the Spaniard is going to try to make a move onto the inside of the Brit as the Brit goes a little bit wide. And you can see that he is trying to get a better exit than the Brit as he tries to go into the right-hand side, but the Brit's able to cover him. And we now go single file here as we head into this uphill corner. Very weird uphill corner. You have to time that perfectly. If you just go a little too wide, you can easily clip that grass and spin yourself out. But as we head into the final couple corners, we take a little peek onto the inside of the Spaniard to let him know that we're here, but think twice about making the move since the Spaniard is going to have to serve his 1-second penalty. No point in forcing the move right there. We're just going to wait for the penalty zone off of lap, turn number 1. We should be able to regain 6th place away from him. So on the second lap here, we have a car right behind us, but don't pay too much attention to him since he didn't really try to go shoot in the gap on the inside. We're just going to fall right into the penalty zone. Spaniard has to serve his penalty here. Shift over to the left-hand side to avoid making contact with him because sometimes, I don't know why, the ghost just ends up going visible and you accidentally make contact with him. So to avoid all that happening, we should decide to shift over to the left-hand side. Continuing on to the third lap, we're going to cross the start-finish line and find our way on to the final lap. And you can see 5th and us were able to catch up to the top 4 guys as they were just fighting really hard with each other. So in doing so, that just slowed them down, caught up 5th to them. Can we catch up to these guys? It looks like it's not going to happen. So on the final couple of corners, just looks like we're gonna finish this race in 6th place as we are coming out of the final corner here. It doesn't look like anybody gets killed from that right barrier, and we're gonna come home in 6th place. So nothing really happened here. We were just trying to catch up to these guys up ahead, and 5th place was able to catch up to them, but unfortunately, just because of the dirty air and just the nature of the track, he was unable to make an overtake to reclaim the 4th place position from that guy. So we're gonna jump into the next race and see if we can get better luck here. So jumping into our 3rd race now, we are on the American servers as we decided to hop over the pond. Starting on the pole position, can we get a win from here as we get our 3-2-1? Brazilian's right behind us, heading to turn number 1. Is he gonna take the most optimistic lunge on the inside? And it looks like he goes through it cleanly, and so do we. So off of the first corner, we get a really great exit, but the Brazilian got a really good first corner as well. So he's able to just stay in our slipstream as we head into turn number 2 and 3. And it looks like it's gonna break away into a 2-car battle now as we head into this medium corner, or medium speed left-hand corner. Heading into the banked right corner for the first time on this race. We take a very middle line as we accidentally miss our apex, and you can see right on the radar that the Brazilian gets very close to us, almost makes contact with us, so we had to slam on the brakes because we got scared of accidentally running into him and pushing him down, or him coming up on us and pushing us out of the way. We accidentally lose the 1st place position away from the Brazilians, so we're demoted back into 2nd place now as we come into the final few corners. We're gonna have to do everything we can to catch right back up to him and redo the overtake as we're both running in the Beetle. So I think I could catch up to him as long as we are able to just keep our pace together here. We're gonna head into the 2nd corner, and he's able to just pull away from us ever so slightly as we now come into the final corner. Off of the final corner, he accidentally makes contact with the barrier and he spins out, and that was basically the battle right there. So I could already see all the F's in the chat to the Brazilian. Just paying my respect for him here as he did die an honorable death getting into the barriers, and we are able to just continue our way on the 1st place position all the way to the final lap, coming to the final couple corners. Nobody else was really able to challenge with us, so we're just gonna get this easy win now as we come into the final corner, missing those barriers on the right hand side, and we're just gonna run down the straight past the start finish line, and we get our very first win of the week here on Daily Race B at ASUS. So really good, interesting races that we've been having here. Again, it's just kind of been a roulette. Sometimes we get some good races, sometimes we get some bad races, sometimes we get some wacky races, and again, it's just been a really good bundle of fun this week with these couple of daily races. So let me know how you guys are doing in the comments down below, if you guys have been having fun with these races, or if you guys have just been avoiding these like the plague. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the videos. It really helps out the channel when you guys do so. If you guys want to follow me on the Twitters or on the Instagram, you guys can feel free to do so there. And if you guys found this video very entertaining, I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.